Ready, Benny?
He's ready.
Thank you. Good. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to All Grown Up. I'm Rach.
And I'm Kate.
And thanks for coming back with us this week. Last week we had a bit of a juicy topic.
That was fun.
Yeah. But before we get into what we're going to talk about this week, we do want to kind of address some things from the last podcast. But before we get into all of that, how was your week, Kate?
My week has been crazy.
Yeah, tell us.
So, where do I even begin?
Oh, everybody listening, just know we have a special guest with us today.
I know. I feel like Benny is like loud and proud here.
Yes.
If you hear any gulping, it's not me. It's Benny.
It's our prized possession. Baby dog.
So this week, I was just minding my own business, doing my work. Just announced our giveaway winner. Was thinking about my next podcast episode. And was in a work day. And my doggies come with me to my workplace. So they are always with me. And had a situation where Mr. Benny was attacked by another dog, and it was horrifying because I had to watch it, and I could probably still be shaking if I thought about it again. Mm-hmm. So Benny is okay. He's okay. I have to keep telling myself he's perfectly fine. His little wounds, he has flesh wounds, like the dog bit him hard on the neck. Yeah. And she had him pinned down, and we had to run over and grab him from underneath this old female dog. Yeah, I don't know. It was really scary. Because Benny is my favorite thing in the world. And I thought that I legitimately went into like, oh my goodness, he's going to die. Like, something's going to happen. Yeah. I was not calm. Like, just if you ever think about like what you should be, he was trying to be calm because I was so high anxiety.
Everyone was trying to be super calm.
Very scared. Benny is 7 years old. I've had Benny since 2014. I've had him since he was 8 weeks old. He only knows one life, and this is it. So, I had his harness on, but we were in a place where there's not usually a lot of dogs, and there's not usually a lot of like stuff going on. It was like a vacant area, and yeah, it was very unexpected. The dog came from behind, and my dog Benny, he tries to protect me. Yes. And he is a pretty vocal little guy. Like when he sees a big dog approaching, he barks. He's pretty reactive, I will say that. I've been trying, but it's gotten a lot worse with the addition of Gracie, I would say.
He wants to protect.
He wants to like be the pack leader. And when another dog comes up, he just doesn't, always react the best. This dog had broken off of its leash and shouldn't have been off of its leash in the first place. And yeah, it was pretty scary. So
it was scary, but we got him out.
He's okay. He has some wounds here.
He's got some battle wounds. He's pretty proud of them.
4 puncture wounds to the right side of his neck. One of them, they're all considered superficial, but one was really scared.
It was traumatizing to witness the whole thing happen, and then just seeing your little baby dog bleeding.
Yeah, and with COVID and stuff, you can't go inside with them, so that like heightens the situation tenfold.
And the fact that multiple emergency vets wouldn't take him.
Were at capacity, and they weren't able to take him. So it was just a high stress situation. His usual vet was closed. I don't know why she was closed, but Gracie is also traumatized and crying over here.
Gracie is also traumatized. She was very scared for Ben.
Come over here and show them your matching tracksuit.
Okay, we're gonna get Gracie. And this is our special guest, Gracie girl. Gracie, are you a bad girl? Yes.
No.
Yes.
Gracie is the sweetest girl. She's 10 months old. She's almost 1. She's the sweetest girl, right? And she's got matching tracksuit with Benny.
Benny's in the black, Gracie's in the pink. It's freaking
How
adorable.
freaking cute are those?
It's a D dog, in case you needed to know. So yeah, this is our special guest.
This is the pack,
episode 10. Okay.
Yes. Anyway, so that was my week. It was kind of traumatizing.
Yeah.
Anything crazy happen in your week that I
Honestly,
already know?
No, nothing too crazy in my world right now. My poor little Loli got her collar stuck in her mouth today.
I know, these animals are crazy.
Our animals are super active, crazy little guys. So, yeah, Lily got her collar stuck in her mouth today, and she had a very traumatic time trying to get it off. But we got it off once she would let us.
Once she calmed down enough to realize.
Yeah, because, she's a baby cat. She scratches a lot.
She just panicked.
She just, freaked out. But she's okay. She's a happy girl. We went on a walk today, so that was, I think, nice for all of the animals.
Yeah, get back out and just...
get out into a safe space.
Reset, guys. Let's talk about... Because also, I feel like before this, Benny traumatic injury took over my entire week and my thoughts about the entire week. We had launched our podcast episode where we announced our giveaway winners, and our giveaway winner is somebody that I went to high school with, and we were really good friends then. We went to a few hall parties together. So I was really happy that she had won. So it was nice to hear from her. I caught up a little bit with her. And then we started getting messages on the
about our last
Instagram
podcast.
About the last episode, and just how many women reached out to me, either from my phone number or on Instagram or whatever, being like, yeah, this is relatable.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone. I think every girl can kind of relate in one way or another.
Yeah.
Either side. I feel like you're on either side. So
the cheating thing really, or the snooping thing and then catching cheaters, that one really hit home for
a lot of people.
A couple of people.
Yeah.
So we have so much more, I feel like, that
I think it can just go so much
deeper,
and I think we talked a little bit about before you're in a relationship, and then when you become exclusive, and then how your expectations change, and that kind of led us into the whole snooping thing.
Yeah.
But going past that, it's all about your communication, your conflicts, and your commitment.
Willing to commit, right? That's just it. If you have conflicts like this where you're going to communicate with your partner with, then that also takes a certain level of commitment. So kind of all goes together.
It all goes together. And I think that's key of relationships.
And we're going to talk about it today.
So we're going to go, We had some questions.
We had some questions and / comments from some of our listeners. So
I want to share those ones.
First one was a comment basically saying, if I don't want it done to me, I try not to do it to them. So if I don't want that, I personally don't, want somebody to invade my privacy for no reason. So if I don't want that done to me, then maybe you should think twice about doing it to your partner.
I think that that's a really fair statement. For me, I don't care if my partner goes through my phone. I said it in the podcast that he does.
Yeah. Right.
But that's something that both of both of us have
are
communicated.
aware.
Yeah, we both are aware of that. I feel like that's something I didn't really touch on.
Yes, let Rachel do her disclaimer because she really wanted to.
I realized that when that last episode came out, I totally was like, I'm team crazy, but my partner and I, like, we've given each other our phone passwords. Like, it's, we've talked about it.
It's a mutual understanding.
It's a mutual thing that both of us are okay with. Just, I know when I'm on my phone that I'm not doing anything that I wouldn't want my partner to see, so I don't care if my partner wants to go and look at it.
Fair.
And vice versa, my partner, if I'm feeling a type of way or whatever, I know that, like, he's not doing anything on his phone that would make me feel a type of way. But I don't know, sometimes I feel crazy, you know?
Fair.
That's what I mean by, like, I'm team crazy. Sometimes I feel crazy, so I will go and I'll look. And then it kind of, like, you know, it's almost reassuring that when you
don't find anything.
When you don't find anything.
Of course. It's always so nice when you don't find anything.
Yeah, you don't find anything.
But
no, honestly, there's a vice versa side to snooping. Like, you can find some shit, but you can also find some really nice things.
The corny stuff.
I've definitely found some really sweet things while I've been snooping.
That you wish you didn't see until you're supposed to see them or something?
Yeah, but sometimes I know that I would never see them. Sometimes I know that, like, sometimes he's just, like, you know, just typing. He's just, you know, he's just saying his thoughts, and then I'm like, oh my god, that's so sweet. You know, when people just, like, talk. Anyways, so yeah, I think
valid point.
That was something that
valid point. I agree.
I just got so hyped up in our last conversation, I didn't even mention it.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one that kind of sparks the first topic of conflict. Question was, if you don't have trust, why are you in the relationship? Mm-hmm. So if you can't trust that your significant other isn't doing that right off the bat, then what's leading you to mistrust them? Or is it you? Is it more something that, because, like, for me personally, Thomas and I don't look through each other's phones. I don't need to look through his phone. Mm-hmm. I trust him. Vice versa.
Yeah, that's a hard one. That's a tough one. No, I personally I have trust issues, and I think that my partner also has trust issues. But both of us are trying to, like, be our best.
Okay, so that's kind of like where I feel like we can elaborate, because when you have conflict, it's almost like in whatever relationship you're in, if it's like a friend or if it's a partner, a parent, whenever there's conflict, there has to be some sort of conflict resolution. And with conflict resolution, it's like there has to be a mutual willingness on both sides to resolve the issue. Mm-hmm. So it's like when people try to rush through the problem and they either don't resolve it or they're not ready to resolve it, it doesn't always give you the same resolution. So with the conflict piece, it's almost like, okay, we can take it right from the last episode. Basically, the confrontation that you're gonna have with your partner about if you snooped and you found something you didn't like, that's going to cause a conflict. So is your partner going to be on the other side meeting it with resistance, or like?
Well, I think it depends on your partner. I think for me specifically, in my case, like, I think that everybody's relationships are different. Yeah. And everybody, to me, when you're building a life with somebody that you want to build a life with, or that you, like, you think that you could build a life with them or whatever, like dating more than just to date, pretty much, you know?
You're dating to try and get wifed up.
Yeah, you're trying to, you know, do something.
Yeah, build a life.
Then I think that that's when people, unfortunately, start taking their conflicts and kind of like brushing them under.
To like preserve the...
To preserve it.
To preserve the what? Your relationship?
Yeah. I guess. I think a lot of people do that.
I just feel like, what are you preserving? Something that's fake.
Yeah, something that's fake.
That's not real.
It's not real.
That's not real.
That's when I think you have to cut it.
Okay, I'm going to say something. Because as I've gotten older, it's not like my expectations, but like my idea of what a relationship should be like and what a good relationship feels like are two different things. Mm-hmm. Because when you're with somebody who, you know, I don't get everything that I need, like, from one person in my life. Like, I've never been that way. Mm-hmm. Like, I've always had friends and multiple layers to my social life and my... Do you know what I mean? Like, there's multiple layers. So, to me, it doesn't feel organic to think that, you know, my partner is only going to come to me and vice versa. Like, I believe that there are relationships that go on outside of your own relationship that matter to your life. So, like, there's a difference between, like, when you're snooping to look through your man's phone or whatever and he's, like, talking to, like, females.
Then or other... then you gotta, you know...
That's where I feel like, personally, I didn't have any capacity for it. Without looking at it from, like, an anxious viewpoint when I was younger.
What do you mean from an anxious viewpoint when you were younger?
No, like from an anxious viewpoint, like in general. I feel like, okay, if you saw your man talking to another girl,
yeah,
you're gonna be like, who is this?
Yeah, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah,
of course.
Without even, like, you're already conflicted then. That's the point that's the point that I'm saying is, like, I would rather trust that my boyfriend's not going to step out of line than overanalyze his every interaction with another female.
Of course.
Because I don't believe that you can go through life when you're 25 and older without ever flirting with somebody ever again. Like, and that's just, to me, that doesn't mean that he doesn't love me. It just means that whatever. So
you'd rather just, like, not see it, basically.
Not see it. I trust that he doesn't do it. But if there
were, if doing it.
No, but if there were to ever be I trust that he doesn't. And if there were to ever be a point in time where something flirty was exchanged, I trust that he doesn't take it further. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it's naive, but I'm just saying that I have seen enough of humans in my life to see what is real and what's the fantasy of marriage or the fantasy of a long-term relationship.
Right.
Like, I can't stand when people are, like, in a relationship and they are afraid to say, like, that somebody else is hot.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. Like, no, like, I'm a woman. Like, I think other men are attractive. That's not you. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna go and, you know, act on those things. I'm not gonna
sleep with them or anything.
But, I'm human. There's a human need to, like, interact, I feel.
There's a human need to interact, yeah.
And I feel like it comes in waves with relationships sometimes.
Comes in waves, but, like, the respect that you guys should have with each other, like,
of course,
is the same.
Respect and the trust comes from the fact that there's a long-term commitment.
Yeah. If you guys talked about a long-term commitment.
Yeah.
If you haven't talked about a long-term commitment, I think it's a different story. when you've talked about that long-term commitment, and then I think that that's when you can put your guard down a little bit
Eases
more.
your mind.
Yeah, and then I think it goes conflict, and then you have to communicate.
Yeah.
Well, it should be communication, but
yes, it should always start with communication.
But it usually goes conflict, and then you communicate.
Agreed.
And then comes in after that communication, the commitment piece, like the real commitment piece.
Yeah, like what are you gonna do to better this, and what am I gonna do?
If you found something that was bad, let's say you snooped, you found something you didn't like, and then you're already in a, like, let's say it's not that bad or whatever, but you're in a
funk about it.
You're in distress about it, and whatever, you want to work through it with your partner.
Yeah.
And then your partner is like, okay, yeah, let's work through this, sure. Right? You guys are on the same page.
There's a commitment to resolve.
There's the commitment to resolve it. Okay, right. And then you move on. But it's like the part that when one of you guys doesn't want to.
Okay, yeah, so here, next question.
Yeah, when one of you cannot do it anymore.
Okay, let's address that, because the next question is actually a little bit off that. But what if one of the partners in the relationship doesn't want to resolve the conflict? They want to just continue their behavior, or they don't see anything wrong with their behavior.
They don't see it. They don't care.
But
or
it's deeply affecting you.
But they don't get it.
Yeah, but it's deeply affecting you, right? So you would like some resolution, but your partner's not willing to resolve it for you.
Or your partner just cannot understand it. Like, they can't wrap their head around it.
Right. What happens then?
I mean, that to each their own, but if, to me, my partner couldn't wrap their head around when I brought them a conflict, then how are you supposed to continue?
And I feel like if the conflict it's very dependent on where it's coming from, because if it's a personal issue, like if it's something that you're like, you know what, I'm depending on my partner too much for this one thing, and I feel like I could resolve it internally, then there's some work to do.
And that's a big thing too, is realizing your own internal.
Yeah. If it's an insecurity of your own and you're projecting, that's one thing. But if your partner's just saying, you know, I'm not gonna even try to hear you or understand where you're coming from, that's a huge red flag. Just gonna put that out there. Somebody who's willing to commit and to work on things is always gonna be trying to make sure that it's comfortable for you both. It's not going to be like pressure. It's going to be like, I'm genuinely committed to making sure that if you feel bad, I don't want to be the source of it. So what can I do to better help you? And what are you doing to help you as well? Because I don't appreciate the snooping. You know, that's kind of like where I feel like there's a level of maturity that can go into a relationship, and it can work like nicely.
Definitely. Okay.
Last question was, do you think a relationship can recover after infidelity? Let's say you found out that your man was cheating on you.
Okay, but we also defining cheating. Anything that you consider cheating, or do we consider cheating something? I feel like, you know, do we consider cheating
is cheating, physically cheating?
Physically cheating. What about like if a girl feels like somebody cheated on them when it was like
texting?
Not physical, yeah, texting or something. Like,
I feel like
how do you feel about that?
Okay, here's my thought, because here's my thoughts. Men typically, I feel, I should say straight men who love women, okay?
Men who love
typically
women.
Feel like there's a lust before there's an emotional connection. So women can love in lust, and women can love emotionally. And sometimes women love first with lust, or they go into it emotional. But men don't usually get to love until they've gotten the emotional. So they don't usually love anything that they're lusting after. So if it's like your man's texting somebody, it's because your man has an issue with his ego.
Yeah.
So he needs a little bit of an ego stroke once in a while. If you're not willing to do that, he's not getting something. But it's not getting it from you. He's not getting something from himself. He doesn't feel validated in the relationship of some sort, in some capacity, where he thinks it's appropriate to get attention from other places.
Yeah.
So
is that cheating?
I don't know, but that's kind of like...
It's such a gray area. It's such a...
When you think about it, like, if your man is emotionally cheating on you, like, he's confiding and he's going to another woman, like, telling his, deepest, darkest thoughts to.
Oh, okay, well,
he has an intimate relationship with that person.
Depends. Okay, so it depends on
I also think
it's extent.
I wouldn't consider it cheating, but I think it's like highly disrespectful
Extremely.
if you're in a relationship and you're sliding into somebody else's DMs. If that's what you're finding... Yeah, I mean, I would say that he's on the verge of cheating on you.
It's a line. There's a line.
Sorry.
I don't know. It's a very,
sorry
very
to be conflicting,
fine line. But I don't know. I can't decide my mind on it.
So let's just define the question as, do you think a relationship can recover from physical cheating?
Physical cheating.
So I caught my partner physically cheating on me. Can I emotionally get over that? Can you rebuild trust? I can't. I personally can't. It's something that I try to work on and be conscious of because I do believe in second chances. But for me, it's really, really difficult for me to, if you wrong me in one way in a lifetime that we've shared together, it's very difficult for me to trust you after, ever. Even if I like you. Like, I can still like you and I can still, have a relationship with you, but I don't trust you. And there's no intimate relationships that continue
when you don't trust somebody. Sure.
You think that trust can be rebuilt?
I think it's just
or re-earned. I don't know what to call it.
I think it's a recipe for disaster, honestly.
I think it just shreds your heart to bits.
I think it's just
honestly,
unless you're gonna take like years and years and like then go back to each other. Like, I don't think that you can cheat on somebody and then you just like expect them to stay with you and be okay with you and like have everything
without it being like so toxic,
without it being so terrible and emotionally abusive.
Agreed.
It's not no, I don't think it's fair. So I don't think that I couldn't make a relationship work.
Me neither.
If somebody physically cheated on me and I had found out and whatever, because I would find out.
I guess that kind of brings it to making it work, right? So if you want to stay together with your partner, at the end of it, you had your conflict, you're trying to communicate, you're trying to differentiate if your communication has to be from, yourself or if it's something that your partner's really doing. Then you get to the communication point. And the communication point is the most important point because when you're interacting with another human being, you should always try to be the most kind. Like, even if you're wronged and even if you're hurt, I feel like I try to go through life where I try not to hurt people without, like, intentionally trying to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to intentionally try and hurt somebody. So when I'm trying to communicate my feelings, I want my feelings to be heard. Most importantly,
you also want to consciously think.
Yeah. So I prioritize basically, what do I need to get across? Like, do I want to be heard? Do I want to yell? Do I want to fight? What do I want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if my main point is that I just want to be heard, and then you have to go into that conversation with a completely different lens, because you put the shoe on the other foot and you think about, how would I hear somebody out? It would not be if you were screaming at me.
No, you both have to listen to each other, or else you get nowhere.
It's just conflict, more conflict.
It's just a screaming match for no reason.
Yeah, so when I try to go into a conflict, I have some issues to address. Sometimes I get a little heated, and then I have to calm down. I'm not perfect, obviously.
Yeah.
I get a little heated, and then I have to bring myself down and say, what do I want to communicate? How do I want to communicate with my partner? I don't want this to continue, so I'm going to communicate in a clear, concise manner that I'm going to try and stay calm and make sure that the person on the other side is opening up as well, because if I've irked a nerve, if I've done something to do something to you, I want to know.
I want to know too.
So I don't mind to be corrected and put in my place. Sometimes I do get a little sassy, but I try to actively work on it all the time.
Me too.
I really try to be a lot more concise and clear about my communication, because communication is so important.
And your expectations and everything like that, especially in a relationship, and especially living with somebody.
Yes, because you cannot just like shit on people for having a bad day, especially when you're sharing a space and you've committed to that person to be a partner and share a space together. So I found when I was living by myself, it was like I was not considerate.
When you're living by yourself, no, because it's just you.
Yeah. But when you live with somebody else, like, you have to be considerate of their thoughts and feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
All the time.
I've lived with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You've lived with a lot of people, too.
Few people.
I feel like...
I've had my fair share.
Yeah, well, I feel like, growing up the way that we grew up with a lot of different people and a lot of different personalities.
And
a lot of different households, so, like, different
lot
expectations. And then for me, going to college, I had like 4 different roommates. So
fair.
And then I had like 3 different roommates all at the same time. So I feel like I've lived with a lot of people. And then when I decided to move in with my significant other, it was just like almost like
a world of different than roommates.
Yeah, it's like learning how to live with somebody all over again.
All the time.
Yeah, your boyfriend.
In the middle of a pandemic, like...
when you're always together.
Supercharged. Like, you cannot go anywhere else.
No. I mean, both of us are thankfully still working. Mm-hmm. We're essential, so that's great. But, yeah, it was like learning how to live with somebody all over again. And I was just like, for me, a conflict and a resolution. Okay. That I had.
There you go.
In living with my significant other was I've never really lived with boys. So like the toilet seat app just irked me.
Yeah.
And like video games. The video games. I can't stand it. But now we've come to a resolution where he is in the room behind this curtain. And I can't see it.
And that makes her feel calmer.
Yeah, just because...
That's good.
I've never lived with a boy. And then there's all this boy stuff in my house all of a sudden.
It doesn't go with the aesthetic.
I'm like, can you put your red things away? Because it doesn't really go with the pink. It's kind of ugly.
So basically, the conflict and resolution thing is to show that when you have a partner who's, met with conflict or whatever, you have clear, concise communication, and you have somebody who is willing to commit to you, you just, it's like a different frequency. Like, you get on the same page, and it's lovely.
It becomes like a real partnership when
it's a true partnership.
When you implement your communication after your conflict, and you really show each other your commitment, it's just
to try and like resolve those conflicts, right? Like if you have somebody who's on the other side and saying, yeah, I want to work with you and I want to make sure that this doesn't continue to happen.
Yeah. Then I think that that's something special.
As long as it doesn't go against your like moral values, then
yeah, I mean, don't be giving like too much.
As long as you're being met with equal parts, then this is the advice that I feel like you should be listening to. But if somebody's mistreating you, just
if somebody's mistreating you, or if you feel undervalued or disrespected,
you're still at the communication part.
Yeah, and if you need to communicate and nothing happens, then you need to reevaluate and make a decision and make a good, informed, clear decision.
Be fair to yourself.
But if you are willing to work with that person and you are dedicated to them and they are also dedicated to you, and you guys are both dedicated to being strong partners in life,
then you can overcome anything.
Then that's amazing. So
yeah,
that's cool.
Not anything, not cheating. We already established that.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're gonna work with you on your other crazy problems, then that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Fair enough. Okay, do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so.
I think we just should just thank everybody for entering the giveaway.
Yeah. Thanks again for entering our giveaway. And
tune in next week. And if you like this type of content, then let us know.
Oh, yeah.
And we're back on the YouTube because we figured it out.
We got it now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check us out on YouTube. Check us out on our Instagram. Check us out on our TikTok.
Guys, our TikTok, low-key, I made the cutest TikTok today about my Fashion Nova outfit.
Oh, yes, I saw it.
Rachel will do one next.
I will do one next because my order's coming in probably right after this video drops. So
nice.
Look out for it. It's going to be a good time. Yeah, we're excited to drop some more content for you guys. And we have lots of love for you all. Thanks for tuning in to our podcast.
Okay, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.